Hey there, hola, como estas, friends and amigos from all over the world. It's your one and only brother, Yaofosu, the original Globe Master. Now, today's video is pretty interesting. It's a request from a brother named Brother Ishmael. He said, "Greetings, Brother Fosu. Did you hear about the Russian president revealing paintings showing Jesus was black and wants Russians to start worshiping the black Jesus? What do you think of this? And can you do a video, please?" Yes, I can. See, I love when people get straight to the point like this with questions. Brother Ishmael, I definitely can do a video on this. And first thing I'm gonna say, my brother, is this is not something shocking to me. Brother Ishmael, this is not shocking. Europeans know the truth, okay? The European are smarter than you can ever think of. For more than a millennia, for centuries and upon centuries, the Europeans did a great job hiding the truth and pretty much turning the Bible, which is really African history, into a European history. And this is no BS. This is the truth. The European is very smart. Now, your question was straight to the point. So I'm going to do my best to not beat around the bush and get as much as I can to you straight to the point. All right? Now, normally, I don't usually get into topics regarding politics or religion. But when I saw your question, I was like, this one I gotta get into. Let me put my little thought on this situation. The first thing I want to tell you is Vladimir Putin, he's a smart guy. Okay? He's very smart. He knows what he's doing. That dude is no fool. Okay? Now, I don't want anybody to think that I'm some guy that supports Vladimir Putin or anything like that. No, I never said that. All I'm saying is he's very smart. Okay? Europeans all over Europe, they know the truth that the Bible and everything in it is African story, it's African history. Okay? My brother Ishmael, everything in the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, whatever stories is in these three books, I'll call them story books. Happen on what? on the African continent. And this is the truth. I'm going to repeat myself. The Bible, the Quran, the Torah, it's all African history. And I hope somebody can prove me wrong. Okay? I'm not the most religious person in the world, but the truth is the truth. All right? Now the question 2 is why now? Why is Vladimir Putin exposing the truth now? He got to have a motive why he's doing it. Now remember, Putin is a white man. Okay? Western Europe has pushed this guy to the point that he's like, flip it. Oh, by the way, from now on, if you hear me use the word flip, that's what I'm using for the F-bomb now, okay? I got my videos taken down because of the F-bombs. So now, if I want to cuss somebody out, I'm going to say, flip you. If that makes sense. I'm flipping it, man. Flip you. Anyway. See, one thing we got to know is the Most High and His infinite wisdom knows when to expose things. See, one thing about truth is you could bury the truth for 1,000,000 years. The soil will erode and the truth will come out. Okay? Now, if any human being on this planet believe that the original Jesus, whose real name is Horus, not Jesus, was a black man. I said a black man, was a white man. You smoking crack. Okay, let me fix, because I kind of messed it up. If anybody believe that the original Jesus, whose actual name is Horus, now I didn't say Horus like Horace. Horus is Hurus. Horus. That's the original name of Jesus. An African. That's the original name of Jesus. You can look it up. Anything I'm saying here, you can look it up. Okay? Europeans after the invasion of North Africa decided to whitewash black story, African stories, African history, and turn it into their own. Okay? I want you to do a research on the Council of Nicaea. I'm going to repeat that. The Council of Nicaea. That's when the Europeans met and decided to change the name Horus into Jesus. And also, they decided they're going to destroy, listen to this very carefully, they're going to destroy most of the original paintings and prove that Christianity is truly an African religion. Listen, whatever is in the vault of Russia It's just, how can I put it? It's a micro fraction of the things they actually destroyed. Okay? Thank you to Vladimir Putin. Okay? Because this guy he's gonna force the Vatican to come out and tell the truth. Why don't the Vatican open up its vaults? Okay? Why don't the Vatican shows the truth that the Pope, every Pope that has ever been in the Vatican behind closed doors worship a black Jesus and Mary? Why don't the Vatican tell the truth? My brother, this thing is deeper than you know. Okay? Europeans, in many cases, have whitewashed and covered up a lot of things that the Most High will expose in due time. Man, they got this guy, Leonardo da Vinci. Listen to that name, Leonardo da Vinci. And I'm not talking about the Ninja Turtles. I'm talking about the real Leonardo da Vinci. To paint an image they can spread around the world called Jesus. And do you know who he painted as Jesus? Leonardo da Vinci, who was 100% a homosexual, painted his boyfriend, his lover, a guy named, what's that guy's name? Cesare Borgia. A lady boy, a femboy, as the image of Jesus to be spread around the world. While they hid the truth. All these paintings that's coming out now have been hidden since the Dark Ages. Now, if you want to do a research on the Dark Ages was about more than 100 years when Europa decided to whitewash the Bible and African history and turn everything into European. Okay? For over 100 years in Europa, if anybody, white or black, was caught with a Bible showing the real image of people that look like me, they were beheaded, executed. And this is no joke. And then to make it worse, they went on another 50 years called the Crusaders. That's when they decided to exterminate and eliminate any signs of Moors, which is people that look like me, in Europe. During the Crusaders, the Catholic Church, the European Church, declared war on anybody that didn't have blue eyes, green eyes, European features. Okay? It was either flee or die in Europe. Man, this story is too deep. I'm not going to get too deep into this. The question now is why? Why did Vladimir Putin, why is he exposing the truth now? He has his motive. Now, as far as I'm concerned, his motive is to destabilize Western Europe. That's what I think. Now, my name is Yao Fosu. I'm not here to say Russians are angels. I'm not here to say Vladimir Putin is an angel, because he's not. But when it comes to the fact that he's exposing the Russian vote, listen, these votes, it's not just in Russia. It's in Western Europe. I bet you, if you could go deep under Buckingham Palace, you'll find these pictures there too. They are all hidden under the Vatican. It's everywhere. It's everywhere in Europe. The truth is hidden. Okay? This is a fact. So my brother Ishmael, don't think Putin exposing this is something that nobody knew about. It was there. It's been there for centuries, thousands of years. It's been hidden. But the Most High will let the truth come out. You cannot hide the truth forever. The truth will come out. That's all there is to it. Now, like I said, Russians are no angels. But one thing I, Yao Fosu, can personally say about Russians is Russians didn't take part in the transatlantic slave trade. They didn't see any sense in enslaving other human beings. Now, I don't know everything. I'm not going to say Russians have never had slaves. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to Africans, they didn't take part of it. They did not take part in the transatlantic slave trade. Let me make that clear. When the Europeans met in what was it called? The Berlin Conference to divide Africa, Russia was invited. The Russians were present at the Berlin Conference. But what did they do? They said, you know what? We don't want any part of that. They did. They said, if you guys want to take Africa, go ahead. But we don't want none of it. We don't want nothing to do with that. That's one thing you should know about Russians. Okay? After slavery and hundreds of years of colonization of Africa, when it came time for Africans to stand up and fight Europeans for independence, guess who were arming the Africans? Russians. Russians have always armed Africans to fight the French, the English, the Spanish, the Portuguese. That's one thing I could give them credit for. I'm not saying they are angels, but when it comes to standing up for black people, Russians have done far better than the ones who colonized us, the ones who enslaved us. Brother Ishmael, all the nations that took part in the slave trade were proudly flying their flags on top of their ships. Okay? They were the Portuguese flags. Oh, by the way, the Portuguese, when it comes to the transatlantic slave trade, the Portuguese were the highest earners. They took more people from the continent than any other people. The Spanish, the French joined in. The British were the latecomers, if you want to put it that way. The British couldn't compete with the Portuguese when it came to the amount of people being taken out of Africa. It got to a point they decided to abolish the transatlantic slave trade, not because they care about black people, but because they couldn't compete with the Spanish and the Portuguese. Portugal and Spain and France was making too much money from Africa, and the English couldn't stand it. So they decided to declare war on the other nations out of envy, not because they loved Africa. There's a lot of truth that's going to come out. This is just the tip of the iceberg, Brother Ishmael. This is just the tip of the iceberg. What was funny to me is why now? Why now? Why is Putin exposing that truth right now? This year, Putin exposing that Jesus and the Bible story is African history. I'm actually glad this has happened, because from the continent to Black America, you go to any black church anywhere in the world, whether on the continent or here in America, you're going to see black people, a sea of black people worshiping an image of a homosexual, Cesare Borgia. It's hard for me to believe, to say that when I was a young man, before my mind was open, used to go to a Catholic church with my grandma, get on my knees and pray to that image of a homosexual, because I didn't know any better. Now, I remember the first time I went to the Philippines with my then girlfriend, my wife now. Went to the Philippines, and her family, who's completely Catholic, asked me to go to church with them. Now, what, 2014? Now, believe it or not, of course I don't want to be rude. We got to this humongous cathedral, and before you enter the cathedral, they have an image of Cesare Borgia on the cross, crucified. And these people will go like this, kiss the feet of that image before they enter the church. It got to me. My wife was looking at me like, and I was like, I'm not kissing that. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Me, a black man, kiss the feet of a white man crucified on a cross before I enter the church? I walked past that image like it was nothing. The idolatry. I'm not a perfect man, not by any chance. The one thing about life is, once you learn something, you can never unlearn it. I knew the image of Jesus Christ, the Bible, and everything. It's African history and has been whitewashed. So for Putin. Thanks for telling the truth, exposing the truth. But I know you have your motive. If you really want to expose something, why don't you expose what happened in North Africa? The Arab and European invasion of North Africa and Kemet. Why don't you expose that? Let the world know the truth. The world deserves to know the truth. Expose how the Persians, soon as they were able to cross the Euphrates River, declare war on black people and annihilated more than 95% of the inhabitants of North Africa. Northeast Africa, especially what is now called the so-called Middle East. Why don't you expose that? I did a video like 3-4 years ago about the so-called Middle East. If you have time, go back into my channel and look it out. You may learn something from that. I'm going to repeat myself. I'm not a fan of Vladimir Putin. I don't support anything he does. I could give a crap about anybody's politics. I don't care about who is fighting who or what. But I know there's a motive behind why. Why now? Why he's exposing the truth now? He's trying to cause chaos in the Western world. And guess what? It just might happen. That guy is smart. He's smart. America has about 15% population of blacks. Nah, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna keep that to myself. But I know what he's trying to do. Okay? My name is Yalfosu. I'm gonna end this one here. The name is the Original Globe Master. Hopefully you like this video. Oh, by the way, Mr. Robinson, I'm gonna do your video tomorrow. I was supposed to do your video today, but when I got this email, I couldn't help myself. All right? God bless you all. Cheers. Take care.